do what I do.
Racism. The Pakistanis and the Indians, racism towards each other. We ain't been involved in that. You understand what I'm saying? And all of them practice anti-black racism. Okay? So I want you to think about that when we start talking about who's racist and who's not. But y'all still go to them people's food and eat their tacos on Tuesday. You still going over there to get that masala. You going over there to get that masala, ain't you? Y'all ain't passed up a Jamaican restaurant yet and not asked for some oxtails. And they don't like your culture, but you like their food. So I'm asking y'all, okay? Let's be honest. All right? All right? If racism is the question, how much does it really matter? See, my point is, if we as Black Americans have to rely on only non-racist people, if we only have to rely on only non-bigoted people to give us justice, then hell, if we had to wait for non-racist white people to get us out of slavery, we'd still be fighting for freedom. President Lincoln, the man who signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Somebody type Juneteenth. Half of y'all celebrate Juneteenth, don't even know where it came from. President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and it was sometime during June in the teens, shout out to Real Talk Eugene, that Black folk down in Texas found out about it, and they said, oh, we free. So that's why we have Juneteenth, bad date keeping. That's what happened. Nevertheless, the man said, this is President Lincoln, who's deemed one of the greatest presidents of all time, who basically said he prosecuted an open war against the southern states to stop slavery. Okay. Now some will say it was not because he wanted to preserve the Union. Yeah, well, you know, there's some other ways you could have preserved the Union. But the bottom line is he harbored racist beliefs himself. Abraham Lincoln thought that Black folks were inferior, but yet and still he signed that Emancipation Proclamation. Now, he's not the only racist president. I'm gonna tell you my favorite racist white man who became president. Let me tell you, I know y'all like, where is this dude? I told you this is gonna be a barn burner. I told you when we started, you might hate me when we finish, but you're gonna learn something today. One of my favorite racist white men who became president was Harry S. Truman. Somebody type Truman in the chat room. This man was born in Missouri in 1884. Missouri is the most racist northern southern state that has ever existed. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Terrence Cooper. Missouri. I never knew how racist Missouri was until I started reading about Missouri. Missouri. Okay? And look here. He was born in 1884 in the height of segregation. We talked about Reconstruction. White folk was reclaiming their land, right? They was like, oh, get them back in the goddamn land. They whipped the whips back out. It was post-Reconstruction, right? This man had segregation in his bones. What? Are you kidding me? He was just like everybody else around him. Here's the call. He openly expressed racist views. He openly used the N-word regularly. Understand me? He had all the racial epithets you needed. He all of them. Reflect. Look, man, Truman in his early life, in his political career, he openly used racist. He had racist attitude. I mean, this is the most racist, openly. God damn, like really? We just stepped back 100 years. Okay? He used racial slurs. The man was he supported a judge in the 1920s who was a segregationist and a member of the KKK. That's what I'm talking about, right? And apparently he had joined the KKK. You see? This is what I'm saying. Well, let me run that back. I don't think if I said that shit. He was a member of the KKK. Okay, now he might not have been when he was in office, but this is what we're saying. Okay, and in his speeches, he expressed skepticism about the capabilities of black folk. In other words, he thought the black folks were inferior. Shout out to Penny Ford. You see? Think about that. This man was, as a county judge, he was a member of the KKK. Can you imagine going in front of him? This is Harry S. Truman. This is our president. Okay, he didn't think black folk. He reinforced stereotypes. He probably putting us in jail left and right. Right? He did everything he could to play his part. He once stated that he believed in the superiority of the white race and often described African Americans, whom he didn't call us African Americans, in a derogatory name, which will not be said here on my YouTube channel. Okay. But this persisted all the way up through the presidency. In his early he was voted in as an open racist. You see what I mean? He was ambivalent towards civil rights. He didn't give a damn. You understand what I'm talking about? Not a hot damn. And then all of a sudden, on April 12th, 1945, in a racially charged environment, whether Donald Trump is a racist or not is irrelevant, because the racist thinks he's a racist. Okay, you have people who are empowered. Okay, that's not what we're dealing with. Now we're gonna get straight to it. Is Donald Trump a racist? Okay, and here's the other thing. Does he have racist sentiments? Shout out to LJ. And I would think that you have to look at this man's public life, because that's what we're basing it on, right? The critics, they cite a whole evidentiary trail of him being racially insensitive. You see, even though this man has a whole set of.
All right, folks, 2025 has a lot of news in golf. Some of the biggest news is that if you own Ping clubs or you buy Ping clubs, you're going to get free sensors and 45 days free on the app, which is a game changer. Arco smart sensors, they screw into your clubs. It's super easy. There's no tapping, there's no tagging. It just knows when you hit a golf shot. We're not just getting better at golf this year, we're also going to get smarter. To claim this offer, head over to ping.arcosgolf.com. You're going to get 45 days free on the app and free sensors. So you're going to claim your offer at ping.arcosgolf.com.
Engagements and acknowledgments with the black community is indicator of his commitment to helping black people. Now, let's start with the stuff that they throw out. The brother mentioned this. I'm going to hit it a little harder. The Central Park 5 in 1989. I remember this. I was 12. All right. There was an incident where you had a lot of young black and brown kids, mostly black and Puerto Rican. They did something called wilding. They would just run up through the park and just be wilding. All my people from New York, y'all remember that. K Green. Look, New York is not the New York it is. New York is not what it was. When I was young, New York was like, you go to Times Square, man, you had hookers, prostitute, peep shows, drugs, gangs. New York was what's up. In all those nice parts of New York, none of that was there. Brooklyn was shot out. The Bronx was shot out. Not a place. The roaches were big as Volkswagen bugs. Okay. It was a horrible place to be. Not anywhere you want to go through. So it was what it was. Now, of course, you had the elite. Nevertheless, you had some kids who they called them the Central Park 5. In 1989, and we got them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got them, right? And the city was tired of it, and so Trump was like, yeah. He took a full page ad out. He spent about $85,000. He took a newspaper ad out saying we need to reinstate the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? People can't walk through the park. You got these wild kids out here. You know what I'm saying? Keeping in mind, in 1965, we opened up the floodgates. You had a lot of immigrants who formerly weren't in New York, and now they're coming to New York from these black and brown countries in the Caribbean. So keep that in mind. It's the first generation. All right, the baby boomers from those Caribbean countries came through. They had children. So this is the Generation X children, right? This first round. I just want you to keep in mind. I'm not saying it was not foundational black American kids involved in that, but I'm saying when they start talking about black and Latino, 5 black and Latino teenagers, you oftentimes talk about people who not necessarily from foundational black American culture. But that being the case, let's lay that down. All right. And I'm not blaming any one group or another for this. Kids are bad everywhere. But what they were accused of was assaulting a jogger in Central Park. OK. But I lay that foundation to explain that New Yorkers in general were recognizing that the city was changing. Okay, it wasn't just Irish, Italian, black folk from South Carolina and the South, white. It wasn't just that.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Uncle D.
People wash their ass in the tub. Kamala Harris.
You would tune in to Uncle D. D's Black Man Talk. Pull up, homie, take a seat. Don't be a shadow watcher every day. You learn something and you earn something. And let them know and drop some money in the plate. It's getting cold, ladies, talking ratchet. There's a king here, grab your coat, zip your jacket. Keep quiet for a second, close your jaw. Attorney Spurling, this ain't pearly, know the law. Talking Constitution, pushing pins when he shooting, give him that. Masculinity, just for the record, sprinkle that. You can keep your cat, gotta cut it. Only cat he rubbing, gotta love it. I call it Molly Buddy. Gotta vote your interest, voting earns. Presidential, this is for the money that I earn. When you gon' learn, my people, that evil mixed with evil. No matter what you're doing, baby, this ain't equal. Sometimes when you're special, you get hated. The test is for the best, you're damn right, my people made it. Uncle D, Blizzard King, you been served, gotta know this. Now black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now. Uncle D, you been served, get your notice now. Black men out here know we winning, gotta hold it now.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
Somebody need to whip your ass.
Get up and whip him, Sweets.
Hey, don't be putting the money in my hand all rough.
Take your ass out here. You buy you a Flowbee and cut your own damn hair from now on.